Alrighty, everybody. Hello and welcome to some more Osu Mania 7 Key World Cup 2023 action. We've got quarterfinals coming up, and we actually have the final match of our quarterfinals weekend here. We've got South Korea versus Brazil, Seed 1 versus Seed 8. I am one of your commentators, Toph Daddy, and I am joined here by Mifa. How is it going?
Yo, hello. It's been a while since we actually kind of met with each other in the, I guess the 4-key World Cup counterpart, but I guess here we are back again in the 7-key version of this, and yeah, just like you said, this is pretty much a pretty clear match overall, given the underdog being Brazil here, fighting up against the winner's bracket of the, I guess pretty much undefeated South Korea for the 7-key World Cup as well. So it's gonna be an interesting one, at least.
Yeah, been a long time since we've seen South Korea lose one of these tournaments. I think, if I had to remember, I think like 2016 may have been the last time South Korea did not take the #1 spot in the 7-key World Cup. So definitely a big wall to climb here for Brazil, but we did see some incredible scores coming out of Brazil, especially on those rice picks from last week. Actually snagging some #1 scores out of all of the teams. So I'm really excited to see if their accuracy is going to be able to hold up against a team like South Korea.
Yeah, absolutely. One to be on the lookout as well for the specifically for the core jack pick, which is I think the reincarnation for quarterfinals. It's gonna be an interesting one to see, given the powerhouse of just pure accuracy is gonna be like the main point to look for competition.
Certainly will. Looks like rolls have come out, and the winner of the roll is South Korea. So Brazil will be banning first. I can only imagine a long note map coming out, or Remorse comes out as the ban from Brazil, getting that really dangerous hybrid out from Brazil. And then South Korea will also have a ban. I can't imagine a Rice pick not coming out here. Potentially we could see Rice 2 for no reason, or maybe even reincarnation, since Brazil did so well on it last week. But no, Milan comes out as a ban. So getting rid of the tech pick, I think Brazil might be happy that that's the rice ban that's coming out from South Korea. Regardless, those are going to be the two bans there, and South Korea will get the first pick in this match. I can only imagine a long note pick coming out. 4 of them out of 4 open for this match here. Plus the 2 hybrids. So South Korea is going to have quite the nice set of picks to go for if they want to attack using that strategy. And I'm guessing that this is going to be your classic case of a Rice team versus a long note team, and Daisuke comes out. We got the LN density pick. Well, I guess Daisuke was from last round, but I can only imagine that they are talking about LN3. Oh no, LN4 is what they're going for. But regardless, it's still a long note map. No problem here. Pretty expected to see this kind of pick come out first for South Korea. And, maps like Major Violet, I can't imagine South Korea feeling uncomfortable with. So hopefully they're going to be able to start this on the right foot and get their point started in this match. Got 2 of our players in, YZ1155 on the side of South Korea being in, Makiba in for Brazil. I can imagine maybe seeing Silly Fangirl on the side of Brazil coming in for this pick. And I'm not sure. Okay, Dresser, maybe I should have expected that to come out of South Korea.
Yeah, especially given how versatile the roster for South Korea. It would be no surprise just to see basically any player from South Korea can actually play this. So
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
that's kind of the thing too. Is that like South Korea is not only just really really good, but their entire roster is pretty much capable of everything in these map pools. So it gives them a huge advantage that almost no other teams have. Even really high seeded teams like China and the United States end up rotating between like pretty much the same two players outside of a couple of picks. But South Korea can rotate as much as they want between their four players just because of how good all of them are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when you actually see a versatile, like a team as versatile as South Korea is, you can just basically have choice and who actually is going to be like the best wingmans of the basically every pick. Well, even with Brazil, they're no slouch either because you got some pretty like really strong players like Maki and Slifango basically for most of the LN picks. Although they can actually just swap up for Lotus, but I guess in this case, Maki was like is a lot more comfortable than for most of the LN picks in this. I guess in general.
Indeed, opening up our first map out of a possible 11 Mage of Violet, starting with some mixed long notes. Accuracy is already starting to favor the South Korean side, and a miss coming out from Makiba very early there, dropping below the 99% range. But YZ trading that drop right back. That's going to hurt South Korea just a little bit more because it was later into the map. Makiba's miss happened before they hit 400 combo. And another miss from YZ.
Oh, wow.
5. Not the strongest start coming out from South Korea, but the accuracy might just be able to hold on, allow them to hold on to the lead for now as YZ is approaching that 400 combo.
Yeah, not the best of the strong starts for both of these teams really, although even with a couple trades now, it's just they're already solidifying themselves with South Korea, giving that accuracy back up to on average like 99.2, although Brazil has still on the like a low 99 range.
Yeah, and Makiba finding another miss. Ooh, double miss from the Brazilian side. The accuracies were actually pretty close. South Korea maybe a little bit weaker on this than I would have expected. Both players at the low 99% range. But unfortunately for Brazil, they were not able to take advantage of the lower accuracy coming out from South Korea. Both players there below 99% and having missed. Now above the 400 combo again, so they will not be losing any more score, but Makiba
just drops again.
That lead starting to extend as the consistency starts to find itself for South Korea. Both players above 2,000 combo now. I keep cursing people. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, this I guess on their defense, really, the LN where they actually just kind of spike up with the running patterns, except of releases such as that wonky, it's really hard to make sure that you're actually not dropping a bunch of 200 on that one section. But it seems like they're already holding their ground really quick. Even though the difference not that big either.
Yeah, unfortunate drop there from Silly Fangirl. And like you said, the accuracy difference is not that large. The main thing is, YZ with a break. But the main difference here coming from Makiba versus YZ1155. Silly Fangirl actually ahead of Dressurf's accuracy right now. Unfortunately finding another miss there, but still holding on with an accuracy that should help them stay within a certain distance of South Korea. But that lead is pretty large just based on how many drops we see from the Brazilian side here.
From where I'm looking at is that Dressurf actually seems like it's overholding a ton here, which actually might cost us that score difference, although YZ taking another drop. But it seems like it's a little bit too late for that, as they already solidifying themselves for a first point for South Korea. 16,000 points of difference, which is actually not that big for an LN pick that has the underdog of it.
Definitely, potentially a weaker performance from South Korea than I think that most people were expecting. But regardless, they are going to manage to take their own point there and move the slot or move the pick over to Brazil here. And I mean, maybe they immediately go for the Jack pick that they performed so well on last week.
Yeah, it's either they're gonna be doing the highest risk of everything, which is Milan, or they're gonna be reincarnating just to flex a little bit on how good actually they perform on ratio battle, or they're gonna be going for just a just delay speed pick.
Actually, also, it looks like in chat, Dressurf was having some lag issues, which doesn't fare too well for those rice picks if they continue to appear. But hopefully, they're going to be able to fix those problems and put up more expected performances out of the South Korean players. But yeah, Gypsophilia, the speed chart coming out from Brazil. See, Mahiba and Silly Fango still both, and I imagine Lothus is going to be coming in for Mahiba for this map.
Something tells me that Makiba seems like probably gonna be making this as well. I'm not sure if they're gonna actually swap it out since it's actually kind of gone long enough. Although we're still waiting on. Oh yeah, there you go.
There's Lothus.
And Dress is coming back, and hopefully the lag issue will be resolved in this case.
Dresser back in. Might imagine we could see YZ1155 coming back. I could see 0133 coming in as well. I could see anyone coming in for this. It's either this player or that player or the last player on South Korea's team.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Although for Brazil, I think it's just the key players for Brazil is literally what they can come up with for every single rice pick, which basically Silly Fango and Lothus. The two players that are just outstanding on every rice pick.
Indeed. Both players on the side of Brazil here in the lobby, just waiting on the second player for South Korea before we can get into this second pick for the match. Brazil's first pick.
Seeing YZ coming back into the tournament lobby.
Indeed, so I think we can expect to see YZ1155 to join the lobby shortly once they're able to get the invite.
Yep, already sent the invite, so I guess the roster has stayed unchanged. I guess because they both played for Major Violet, so it should be no different this time. I guess the only difference being Lothus being swapped out for Makiba.
Indeed, so not too big of a difference on those rosters there, just potentially tightening up that accuracy on the side of Brazil, and hopefully we'll see a good match here for Brazil's first pick. They have to have picked it because they're comfortable on it, so I can't imagine that these scores aren't going to be anything short of very good.
Alright, here we go. We'll see how they can actually just fare on the speed demons for the South Korean side, and given how tank the accuracy will be for Brazil.
Indeed, waiting for everything to load in before we start up on map 2 out of a possible 11. Brazil's first pick, hoping not to give up an early breakpoint to South Korea on Gypsophilia, the speed pick.
Not that much of a strong start for Dressup in this case. Having early hits from time to time, but hopefully it should be resolved once you get to the main peak of the chart.
Yeah, early accuracy lead for Brazil, though the streams are starting to come in and those accuracies are dropping just a bit. South Korea's staying relatively consistent. Dresser hovering around that 99.65 range. YZ just above the 99.7, but Silly Fango and Lothus both ahead.
They're both ahead, but they're dropping a bit to 200 for the South Korea, mainly through YZ, which having just a tiny bit below Dresser, but Silly Fango actually trying, basically matching YZ in this case. So the lead is basically nothing.
Yeah, it's like 0.05% overall accuracy as we hit the halfway point in the map. Brazil holding on to a very slight lead, but they're going to have to hold on to these accuracies as well as they can going into this ending, which gets a little bit harder. So maybe we'll start seeing a little bit of accuracy drops, but Oh my goodness, Silly Fangirl and
Oh no.
YZ, it's so close. Losing Strapper, a little bit of accuracy below Dresser now.
Tanking that, and although it's not a lead whatsoever. YZ is tanking.
This is not okay.
This is still on the edge.
Oh, Lothus dropping more accuracy than anyone else right now. Dresser holding on for the South Korean side, and the lead is firmly in their corner now. No misses so far. 4 combos across the board as we hit the final section of this map.
Oh god, there's still about a buffer pipe getting Lothus taking the drop right there.
Right at the end, and it looks like South Korea is going to be able to take that break point. It was looking like it was Brazil's point all the way until that final section when Dresser's consistency just took over.
Yeah, with only 500 points of difference between both of them from YZ and Dresser, basically just almost tying up there. Although Silly Fangirl with impressive FC overall, but it's unfortunately just Lothus having that one miss. It might have been actually costing the lead.
Indeed, but that is going to be a break point for South Korea, bringing it to 2-0 and moving back to their own pick. They have 3 long note picks to go through. They've got 2 more coordination and release heavy picks. They got the density pick still available to them. And then they still have 2 hybrids as well if they want to go into that zone. But I mean, that rice pick was so close that I don't know if they would, or that, yeah, the rice pick was so close. I don't think they'd ever want to even touch the remaining rice pool if they could help it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes because they have a plethora of picks they can go with, and South Korea will probably spending their time to make sure that they actually have a decisive advantage overall. And even Major Violet has been 16k point difference is not that big of a lead. So
yeah, you are right. 15k, it wasn't that much of a difference. And Rain Shower actually comes out, so we're gonna see a hybrid before we move into any of the other long note picks.
Seems like we're going on the long game, since this is basically almost 4 minutes, and the test of consistency of everything is actually gonna be something that South Korea has it overall, but Brazil is no slouch at that too.
Yeah, this also is quite long as well, 3 minutes and 42 seconds, so gotta be more consistent with this kind of map for a longer period of time. We'll have to see if the combos are able to hold on, and especially those accuracies with some of those really complex long note patterns that happen throughout.
Seems there's some discussion on whether Makiba is going to be playing in this.
It looks like if Makiba does stay in, that might end up being Silly Fangirl being swapped out for this. Looks like that's what I can't speak Portuguese or read it, but
me neither.
So Makiba mentioned Nate, so I imagine they're looking to potentially swap Silly Fangirl out. Just having a few discussions between teams. We see Tart BTW come in as well. And it looks like Lothus is going to be the one swapping out here. So not Silly Fangirl like I was expecting. But it's all about who's going to be taking that slot. And given that Tart PTW joined the lobby, maybe Tart is the one that's coming in. I haven't seen him play too much in this tournament, but
yeah, actually, he's actually seen playing on qualifiers either. So
Tart's in the wrong slot.
There
we go. All right, they have moved into the right slot.
They got to figure it out, so we're good there. And already starting immediately after that.
So potentially the stream debut for Tart BTW here in the quarterfinals match. I'm really interested to see how they perform here on the first hybrid of this match, map number 3 against South Korea.
Hopefully it's actually synced up properly, as it seems like they're Brazil ahead of it.
Lined up. It always gets back to the normal at some point. Early patterns starting off here. A little bit of issues holding on to accuracy in those early patterns by Tart BTW. YZ holding 99.96 through these simpler patterns. But a little bit of accuracy drops coming out once these long notes show up. YZ dropping down below the 99.4 range in those patterns.
Yeah.
That's
Mine dropping a little bit too early on the releases too.
Yeah, looks like well, now the accuracy is starting to build back up. Brazil had the lead for a little bit there, but we're getting into the more difficult patterns starting just about now. But it's not really, I don't think these patterns are really going to matter quite as much as the patterns that are like pre and post chorus with those really difficult long notes. And like those complex patterns start coming in a lot more heavily.
Yeah, so I guess the entry is at least a little bit trivial in comparison to other sections, although there's some more of the finger coordination, although Tart taking the first drop for Brazil, and with also a bit of an accuracy drop as well.
Bit of an accuracy drop, but overall that was a pretty clean miss there from Tart BTW. Dresser absolutely demolishing this map in terms of accuracy so far, but we haven't hit the really difficult long note patterns. We're starting up on them just a little bit here, but no one's blinking on these patterns quite yet. YZ just ahead of Silly Fangirl, so the accuracy advantage firmly on the side of South Korea, but that is going to be a miss from Dresser, yeah. So it's all about accuracy now. One miss to one miss. Silly Fangirl and YZ both still holding on to the full combo.
Oh, wow.
Second miss. As we transition into the section. I told you it's not really, that beginning part's not going to matter quite as much as this chorus. We are now seeing two misses from the side of South Korea. Still full combo apiece for each team here, but Tart BTW bringing themselves back, but Silly Fangirl going to break that full combo.
Only YZ's left in just to get the full combo on this piece, but it does seem that lead is actually just pretty much growing for South Korea. The accuracy, it doesn't even change at all, even with those misses by Dresser.
Yeah, it looks like the Brazilians are starting to have just a little bit of trouble. A double break there as YZ manages to continue holding on to their combo here. Oh no!
Oh, YZ!
Right after the chorus. No full combos on Rain Shower today, but still incredibly impressive accuracy. Silly Fangirl and Tart also trading that miss back right after the chorus. Dresser, the only player with combo left. All three other players missing during the break section.
Yeah, especially with this slower LN releases, just to make sure you're on your nerves. But thus, I mean, the lead is basically established for 40k already. It's already really hard to come back from that.
Indeed. Just one section left, but this last section's a little bit on the easier side, I think, for these players. Just some more of those slightly complex long note patterns, but it's nothing they haven't seen so far. Looked like Tart actually had a bit of another drop there towards the end, but it's not going to matter too much. A much more dominant victory for South Korea on Rain Shower here, about 50,000 points.
Oh wow, that's a full drop on the ending though. But regardless, what is the ratio for South Korea is basically the same.
Wow, yeah, like 734, 733. Brazil not too far behind. Silly Fangirl at 899, Tart at a 1316. Good scores all around. Just 984, 985 is a tough set of two scores to beat for any team.
Yeah, even also with really great job for Silly Fangirl trying to match head to head against the two powerhouses South Korea. Getting pretty similar to 100 count, but the miscount is actually what makes it cost that score lead further. It's now on Brazil's pick now, so they have to go with something a little bit more on the riskier side on the core jack pick if they want to go for that too.
Yeah, I could see them going for the core jack pick. I could see them going for pretty much any of the Rice picks. I would guess that Rice 2 or Rice 4 comes out here. One of the two. I can't imagine them going for tech, and the speedier chord stream pick seems a little bit more risky in my opinion than either of the the denser chord stream or the jacks.
seems there have been a little bit of a. If you take a look like at the analysis of the Brazil's big line, I mean, there's no other choice for Brazil to honor them with big prize. So if anything, like if they actually exhausted their picks and they're winning, not sure where they're gonna actually go after that.
I do believe there actually are enough rice picks for them to not have to worry about that. Each team gets 5 picks if this goes the distance. And no pick has come out. Timer has ended.
Oh,
and
there we go.
Okay, Rice 4 comes out. Perfectly expected. Coming from the there.
All right. Take your dice rolls to see how many 300s you're gonna get for all of these players.
Bancho-bot exclamation roll, and that'll be the sum of each team.
And if anything, South Korea will probably switch out to NL and 0133 because they basically want the sharpshooters for projects.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame them, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just lighter but faster, so it doesn't look too hard.
Much less focus on those anchors that we saw in the previous round on Rain as well. So it's going to be potentially easier for these players to hold consistently on a map like this. Just waiting for those 2 players to come in now.
It's no doubt for Brooks that they're going to be having Lotus. So
yeah, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Lotus is going in. Lotus is extremely good at these kinds of accuracy picks. And like I said, last week, they got the #1 score on this, or at least on this category, beating out South Korea's score on it.
Yeah, just by a fair, I mean, 1,000, 2,000, basically for Rain.
South Korea brings in Enil as the second player there. Just waiting for Lotus to jump in, and there they are.
Oh boy. So it seems like they're solidifying for South Korea having aggressor in this pick. Although Enil being the most reasonable one to actually just play for in general.
Like we have all 4 players in for reincarnation. Once they ready up, we can get into pick number 4. Brazil looking not to give up another break point here, trying to just get any amount of momentum back in this match. And the start command comes out. Map number 4 out of a possible 11. South Korea versus Brazil here.
All right, we'll see how many misses they actually gonna get. I mean, by misses, I mean 300s in there. So. Opting for mirror for Enil this time.
Indeed, here we go. Triple 100%, 11 notes in. No, Nate. Silly fangirl.
Basically tied against Enil. Only 100% being Lotus. I mean, that's to be expected.
What else? Good. But difficult jacks density starting to increase now. Already about a quarter of the way through the map.
Already quarter way in, and it is still at 99.9 plus.
No! With a miss! That's so unfortunate. South Korea's going to take the lead. Accuracy would have been in favor of Brazil there. But even then, 3 players at 99.97 or above.
Oh boy. Lotus, even with the miss, almost at the 99.9, which it just something tells me that they're closely matched here.
I want to say that if South Korea misses, I think Brazil might have the accuracy advantage, though Silly Fangirl does drop below both of these South Korean players now, so it might not be as close as it was before, though. I mean,
that's a bit of a 300 flurry there.
Silly Fangirl found a 200 below the 99.9 range now.
So just climbing back up to actually, oh wow, Silly Fangirl finally dropping there. There's no full combos on Brazil now.
Very unfortunate. 2 full combos to 0 now in favor of South Korea. Sillyfinger jumping up to that 400 combo, but we're approaching the end, and I just don't see the South Korean players missing on this ending. It gets a lot lighter, and that's going to be a job well done for South Korea. Second break point in the match and brings it 4-0 back to their own pick.
Almost 999. Yeah. All right, sure. Oh, what? Lotus.
Okay.
Jeez.
So
all right.
If they didn't miss, South Korea would have won that.
Yeah.
What?
Oh boy, almost double-digit perfect for
991. 991 with a miss. How do you do that?
And it was just like 500 combo in. So it was like, it's basically still unscathed for the ratio. Even Lotus still winning that. Still, a break point for South Korea, so South Korea is in really good position right now.
Yes, very good position. Still 3 long note maps available in the map pool for them to choose from. We could have lost that Lotus. You still can. Try to poke a little fun there.
Trying to pick up the mind games from Brazil.
Yeah, mind games. But I am kind of interested to see where South Korea wants to go here. I'm not sure if they would want to go for more of a coordination pick, or if they want to go density, or they could move back into the hybrids and choose Submerge. But I mean, Rain Shower is heavily favored in the long note section in comparison to like most hybrids. So I would imagine them dipping back into the long note pool.
Yeah, it seems like the most obvious choice here being the longer density one, which I'm not going to even bother pronouncing that. The LN3 one.
Yeah, dive. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
The LN symbol is actually covering half of the title.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But still waiting on that pick from South Korea. Looks like these players are waiting till the very last second on these timers to make selections. What? Rice?
Oh, whoa! Oh boy!
What's going on now?
Meteor chord stream. Huh.
Yeah, light chord stream, faster chord stream. Haratanaru Ketsui. I'm interested. I don't know why they're picking this, honestly.
Really banking on Issa, seems like. Yeah, there's a couple chokes here and there. That Meteor chord stream just tells me that it's just like, it's really slippery, which Brazil can maybe take a couple of misses in there. So we're probably seeing YZ coming back up, just because they're the two main players for South Korea for the most part.
Indeed, swapping out, potentially going back to YZ1155. I wouldn't be surprised to see 0133 come out, potentially just to get time on stream.
Yeah, just good to get some screen time at this point.
And yeah, there
we go. All right.
The final player for South Korea. We've actually, I believe, seen all 4 players from both teams in this match. So it's really interesting to see come out of this, because for a lot of the teams, that wasn't the case. But 0133 making their debut for the match. Map number 5, a Rice pick coming out of South Korea. We'll see if they end up, if that ends up favoring them in the end. I'm not so sure that this is going to have been the best pick, but they have won 2 Rice picks so far. So they're certainly capable of taking this point. But
already dropped. Yeah. Everyone's get their fair share of screen time, but nevertheless, still an early drop, so combo-wise, in the scoring advantage doesn't seem to give too much to Brazil right now. The only saving grace being having to drop very early. Oh, wow!
Are we seeing some more lads come out of Dresser? This is an uncharacteristic performance overall from South Korea, I think, today. But that is 2 drops coming out from Dresser, 3 full combos on the board. Lothis holding on to a 99.95 right now. Though even with the 2 misses, Dresser starting to catch up to Silly Fangirl's accuracy. So 1 or 2 misses from Brazil is still probably going to be enough to swing that lead over. But we are halfway through and we haven't seen any misses. But that's another.
Oh, there it is again! Oh wow, this is already 3 misses already, and Brazil is gonna cruise through for the first point, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, that lead right now is about 13,000, 14,000 points right now. Just off the back of those misses from Dresser and Lotus kind of push that accuracy, beating at 0-1-3-3. And all Silly Fangirl needs to really focus on is making sure that they don't drop combo in this final third, and they could be able to snag a point and a break point at that from South Korea.
And given there's a 3-miss lead for Brazil to take up, there's a little bit of buffer, so hopefully they don't get to the. There it is!
Ooh,
1 full combo from South Korea. There is no full combos from South Korea.
Yeah, 2 full combos to 0 now, but the other way around from what we've been seeing earlier in this match. Brazil with a stranglehold on this pick right now as we go through the final sections. And I think we are going to actually see, but Silly Fangirl does find a drop, but shouldn't be enough to swing the point. No, Lucas!
Oh, whoa, Lucas!
No! Just at the end, but Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Just enough to take the point. It is
Brazil's
4-1.
done it. Brazil's done to get a point from South Korea. And what is that ratio by all of these players?
I guess the mind games worked against Dresser there. You still can.
Right. They could have done it for nothing, but they prove it wrong. So
Indeed,
seems like
4-1. What else could you be asking for? It is Brazil's pick as well, so they'll have control of their own destiny, potentially to get a second point in this match, and takes care of evening out 1 of the break points from South Korea. So now they're only 1 break point behind.
They could get 2 in a row, and they're gonna have to pick for the slower unfortunately, just for no reason.
I mean, at that point, I don't think you go with anything but Rice 2. I think For No Reason is the clear pick for Brazil in this scenario. Brazil pulls Brazil on me and picks the thing that doesn't make sense. Of course they do.
Of course, yep. Going the mix Rice pick. Just something tells me that they just want to really have fun with some wacky snap things in this, just to make sure that you actually
silly mini jacks and bursts every now and again. We'll have to see if this ends up being good for Brazil. I mean, it's still a Rice pick, so I can't imagine it's bad for them. But
yeah, well,
they're against South Korea, and that's a tough opponent to be up against, no matter what you're picking.
Still a good thing, but in my eyes, it's not the best one. Just to get that, but. I'm not sure what South Korea is gonna bring here in this case.
It's like Dresser's also having a little bit of keyboard issues here.
Oh, bringing back in Neil here for Fuzzy Navel.
Hopefully they'll have access to another keyboard they can swap to if they're continuing to have issues. But Anil does come back in for South Korea here. I imagine this is going to be the set of 4 Dresser's been in on every single pick, just swapping out that second player. Silly Fangirl, same situation. But, Rice picks pretty clearly. Lothus is going to be staying in for this one. Just got to wait for them to ready up and get into pick number 6.
Yeah, as far as things go, I'm just kind of worried about Reserve in this case, given the keyboard issues that they have. Not only they had already that lag issue being sorted out, they have another issue that's coming up. So it's actually pretty interesting to see how this match is gonna go for the entire way if Brazil wins this pick. Alright. Sounds like a decent idea, Lotus.
Indeed, MP Start Command coming out. Fuzzy Navel, sorry.
We don't know.
Uh,
Well, just these two commentators don't know how to pronounce, so it's
I
normal.
I never know how to pronounce anything. It's fine. But here we go. Loaded in, all 4 players. Got another rice pick coming out. We just saw Brazil take a break point on a rice pick. This will be the next best chance for them to snag some more points off the
100%.
board.
Come on.
Lotus. Accuracy lead currently in the favor of Brazil with that 99.97 from Lothus. Anil dropping down a little bit, 99.97, but Lothus starting to drop as well, though everyone having a little bit of trouble holding on to the ratio.
Oh, wow.
That's a miss from Anil. And Brazil.
And that's after the 400, too.
Certainly is. So that's going to be good for Brazil. It means that they're about a miss away. And with the accuracy lead right now, both players above 99.8. And South Korea have neither player at that point, but Lothus does find a combo draw. So it's going to be a trade there. Still has better accuracy than Anil, though, so they should maintain the lead through that miss from Lothus.
Still not out of the woods yet. The lead is still pretty much like about 3,000, 4,000 points. So they're still pretty much have to nail through the ending because the ending just spikes up the difficulty so much.
Yeah, I got a spicy bit of the ending coming up in this last third here. Lothus beating out Anil right now. Silly Fangirl beating out Dresser. So it's basically a one-on-one match, top versus top, like the top player versus the top player, bottom player versus bottom player. Just about those one-on-one matchups here, and the density starts to increase now. Silly Fangirl having a little bit of an accuracy drops, a little bit of 300 drops, but still holding on to their lead over Dresser here.
Watch those drops, Lothus! There's a drop right there!
Oh, and a second drop from Lothus. That's going to be huge. And Anil is holding on to the consistency, holding on to the combo at the end. And it looks like, ooh, Lothus just having
breaks again.
A little bit of trouble holding on to the combo in this ending. And South Korea, despite being behind for the entire time, is going to hold on and take that break point right back.
And Silly Fangirl with 3-200 is basically the MVP for this particular pick.
Yeah, super impressive score from Silly Fangirl there, as well as Dresser. 2 full combos there to 2. Yeah, 2 full combos to 2 there. Or 1 full combo to 1 on each side. Lothus just finding a few too many breaks there to help keep them in the match there. But that is going to be match point for South Korea on their own pick.
Yeah, South Korea has the privilege of picking whatever they want to at this point, since they already have 1 more point left. And at this point, it's just only 1 rice pick, and everything else are just non-rice picks.
Yeah, I don't foresee them going for another rice pick here, given that they lost the only one that they picked.
I guess the only saving grace for no reason is that it's dense to the point that it kind of plays like a PMS chart, which you just place a little bit, a lot of chords in between chord streams. Picking LN3. Die.
Indeed. Going into the density, we thought this was going to be coming out earlier, but they are digging back into the long note pool, which kind of expected from South Korea, but wasn't expecting it to like have that big break and then just continue closer to the end of the match.
Seems we're swapping out Silly Fangirl for Makiba in this case. Bringing back wisely into the lobby. Pretty much haven't seen in a long time after all those rice picks. And the hybrid, I guess.
Indeed. We also see Silly Fangirl being swapped out for the first time in this match. Tart, but EPW taking that slot. The question is, are we going to be seeing Lothus swapped out for Makiba? Because that's what I normally expect, but this is the density map. So I would not be surprised to see a player like Lothus capable of scoring very well on a map like this.
should be ready.
Brazil has 3 players in right now.
Oh.
It's a fair game now.
They're having a great time in that lobby.
The players having a little bit of fun, talking to each other before they get into the long note density pick. And Lopez does swap out. Silly Fangirls back in with Tart. That was more of what I expected when this was picked, but we have the right teams, everyone on the right sides. MP Zerk Command comes out. South Korea looking to lock down this match with Dive with You here, but Brazil looking to get another break point and try to keep themselves alive in the winners bracket.
We'll see how this goes, considering this is being now on density pick. It should be too far off from like a 4v which was Asian Pilot, but it's still pretty consistent throughout. I guess in the sense that it doesn't use some really long snaps here and there.
The early long up patterns causing a little bit more trouble for the Brazilian side there. Tart down to low 99s in this early section. Silly Fangirl holding on better than both of the South Korean players, though, so the accuracy discrepancy not too large, especially with Tart trying to build that accuracy back up now. And we're hitting the harder sections and Dresser.
Yeah. Oh wow.
More issues coming out. Definitely not what we were expecting. Brazil held on to a little bit of a lead, but Dresser got back up to that 400 combo very fast, and the accuracy is giving the lead back to South Korea. And that's going to help South Korea bring that lead and extend it just a little bit as we hit the halfway mark. Tart just a little bit behind in accuracy. Silly Fango doing very well.
Oh wow, that's a big drop by Dresser.
That is a very big drop, and now the Brazilian team has the score advantage, but Dresser already back at that 400 combo. Long note maps, especially long note density maps, will do that to you. And Tart trading that mess right back again.
Combo being on the bottom of that board now.
Silly Fangirl and YZ at equivalent accuracies right now, both still holding on to the full combo into the final quarter of the map. Tart, by the way, finding another miss. And that's going to help extend that lead for South Korea, especially with the accuracy advantage. No trade from Dresser this time, it looks like, though. And South Korea looks like they are going to be able to snag this final point in the match and bring it to a 6-1 scoreline. One full combo on each side yet again. YZ holding on just above Silly Fangirl's accuracy, and that is going to finish off the match.
Really impressive scores all around there. Congratulations to South Korea for moving on. Still in the winner's bracket of the semifinals, and Brazil putting a valiant effort to take up a point against South Korea.
Yeah, a break point at that, too. So very impressive performance from both of these teams. South Korea, like you said, will move on in the winner's bracket, and they will be facing the United States next week in the winner's bracket for an opportunity to lock down a podium position. Brazil will be knocked into the loser's bracket. I need to check. And it looks like they will be facing Thailand. So Brazil will be facing Thailand in the losers bracket. First round of the losers bracket semifinals next weekend. So they are not out of the tournament quite yet. They will still have an opportunity to stay alive in this bracket. But South Korea maintaining their life in the winners bracket. And like I said, getting that opportunity to lock down a podium position. Going to be some really fun matches next week, and I believe that's the last match for quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just also want to add that given the losers bracket for the semifinals this time around, they'll be playing for the 2 matches here to compete throughout to make sure they actually lock a position for the finals as well. So semifinals this bracket has some effort to go in, and we already see the brackets get already. We have already locked down for the semi-final matches. We got South Korea versus United States, Philippines versus Malaysia, and we are already down on the losers bracket. We have Canada versus Spain, Japan versus France, Indonesia versus China, and Brazil versus Thailand. So we still have a little bit quite left to go in the middle way of the tournament. So it's gonna be a fun ride, and especially after this match, we're also having the Mapu Showcase as well for the semifinals.
Yes, we are indeed going to have that semifinals map pool showcase coming up very soon. But before we sign off as commentators and give a little bit of time so we can prepare for the map pool showcase, I gotta pull off the shills. We got two things to shill. We got our open collective where you can donate directly to the tournament fund so that you can support the tournament and the players, especially those who are earning prizes in that top 3 position. But support the tournament with that fund. But on top of that, we have banners. We finally have them. Support your favorite teams by buying a banner from the OC store. It can be any team that made the bracket stage, even if they are already knocked out of the tournament, I believe. So if it's a team that's in the losers bracket right now, if it's a team that's in the winners bracket, if it's a team that has already been knocked out of the tournament, go and buy your banners and do some more to support the Mania 7K World Cup. Do you have anything else to say before we sign off and get everything prepared for the showcase?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah. So for the banners and the open collective, they all deserve the support, especially for the players playing for the tournament. And as well, yeah, we're seeing on the Mapu Showcase in the semi-finals, although we'll be having to make sure that we have prepared everything, so we're gonna have a bit of a break before we move on to the semi-finals Mapu Showcase.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it.
It'll be a pretty short break, so you're not going to want to leave your seats. We'll be right back, ready to go to show you guys what these players will be playing against each other with for the semifinals. But yeah, I guess we hope to see you guys at that, and we hope you guys enjoy the showcase and next week's matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're Mifa and also Tono Daddy also commentated this. We'll be signing off.
Hello and welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2023. We have one more thing to do in this weekend, and this is the semifinals map pool showcase. I am Surfshoe85, and alongside with me in the commentary booth is one of the map pool selectors for this World Cup, Underjoy.
Hello guys, we have prepared some pretty spicy maps for this semi-finals showcase. So we'll be having 14 maps, and of course they will be pretty difficult. I would say the pool this year is slightly harder than last year, but at the same time I believe our picks are more diverse than they were last year, so I think without further ado we can jump straight to the showcase.
Yep. Definitely a lot of diverse picks in this pool. So as you mentioned, let's get this thing going. So our first chart is F777's Ludicrous Speed. The deathcore remix by, I think that's pronounced Forward. And yeah, 300 BPM streams right off the bat. So this chart is structured quite a bit differently than Gipsophila. Like there's not much into like the wackier delay streams, but this just replaces all of that with super dense 350 BPM streams that are going to drain your strategy by a ton.
Yes, this is just extremely fast, 350 BPM, and you can see a lot of the patterns are resembling stairs, but not all of them. And there aren't really many breaks in this map. You can see some trills, but other than that, the streams are very, very frequent, and they last, when they begin, they last a long time. This is basically the only big break you have in this map.
Yeah, like this is that only section where you're allowed to breathe pretty much. And here we go, it kind of builds up yet again, and then once it picks up, there's just no room to breathe at all.
Oh yeah,
Also, I
those
like this pattern.
stairs. I assume they can be a little bit mind blocky since they repeat a lot, but at the same time players can probably unmit to them, so approximate them to like just regular one-hand drills. But yeah, we have Infant Annihilator in the pool, so it's kind of funny to hear a Geometry Dash like music with with death metal.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think I saw somebody at Twitch chat that's reacting like, what the H word is this? Is this artist combination?
Yes, and this map is by Critical Star, so he has already mapped a speed map in qualifiers. And yeah, this is actually a very neatly made chart. I don't think there is many things that could be out of place here. But yeah, this is extremely fast, so it won't be easy.
And yeah, I do notice that this section, mostly like the final quarter, is made up like broken streams. Like yeah, you have some practically grace notes already, especially with the BPM. So I'm not sure if like this part will be treated as super straightforward by anyone.
Yeah, this is one of the maps that getting high accuracy is difficult, but I do believe some of the better players in the teams will get close to the full combo. But yeah, good luck getting good 200 count. You can see Jinshin got 84. And so let's go to the second map of the pool, which is also a Rise pick, and it is Shiki Sickles. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. But this will be the Dance Core Stream pick for this pool, and this is 16 BPM faster than previous maps for no reason. This is 182 BPM Dance Core Stream, and it isn't a very long map, but it has one really dense section in the middle. Other than that, a lot of sections are quite filler and you can gain accuracy on them. But yeah, I would say this map tests your consistency a lot.
Also, when you mentioned the BPM, I kind of got reminded of what Jinjin told us like a few days before the showcase even happened. The denser chord stream picks, like from round of 16 quarterfinals to this round, have a consistent increment of 16 BPM. And obviously, it's paired with the increase in density as well.
Yeah, I would say this map is on the easier side of semifinals, definitely, as is always the case with the like consistency picks like Dense Core Stream. So it shouldn't be a problem for players left in the tournament, but at the same time, it will be difficult to play this perfectly, and especially this dance section you are seeing right now. This is very taxing for the player, and keeping your combo through this section will be the major challenge in this chart.
But we've seen quite a lot of cracked players in this pool that might be able to navigate the section pretty much smoothly. Though, yeah, you did mention the density here might be a problem still for anyone. Like there are some super easy choke patterns here. As I close a transition to like the heavier chords, I think those are 5 notes or 6 note chords.
Yes, the main thing to watch out here is, of course, about the density, is that there are some small bursts in the core stream, and like when it's mostly difficult because there are a lot of double stairs in the mix, and even in the like break sections like this ending, this is still relatively dense, so you cannot let your guard down.
And that's the second pick. That's the second chart in this map will showcase. Up next, we have a hybrid pick. We have Sobrem, aka Widowmaker, Giselle. So yeah, this is a featured artist reveal. We have a new featured artist, which is like debuting with this Maple showcase, and this is their debut song, which is in the listing pretty much. So this is also the longest non-tiebreaker pick in this pool, and the longest non-tiebreaker pick since Through the Fire and Flames, which was used so how long ago now in MWC 7K?
Yes, actually, many people do not know this, but Sobrem, aka Widowmaker, is also known as WTRE. So he's a very known composer for BMS, and he has made a lot of songs like Schur's Theorem, which is already ranked in 7 Key Mania, Delamia 170, Mom, and there are a lot of BMS works by him. And we have also had 2 maps from Sobrem, made by this music made by Sobrem. So we had Random in Random 16 and Timur in Quarterfinals. And yeah, we are following this trend, so we have another Sobrem map. And this is, as Surf just said, the longest map in the pool. I think it's even longer than the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And this will be the, I don't want to say generic hybrid, but it's probably one of that tests the consistency the most. It is pretty difficult, but at the same time, it doesn't have any patterns that will just outright kill you. More so that they will be just testing your consistency and your ability to just execute everything properly. Kind of like there was the case with the previous round's pick, so Rain Shower.
Yeah, and I think with it does help also that the length of this chart really will be able to test that. Though I'd say, like at least strategy wise, like a super long pick like this might be something that either teams put way early into a match or put way late into a match.
Yes, this is kind of difficult to gauge, as you probably want to, as this probably is still easier than the rest of the pool, so you may think that yeah, okay, if I have good consistency I can play this, but at the same time there are some people that can get some insane accuracy here, so it's always not that easy to gauge how well the opponent will play a consistency pick, as consistency, as we all know, might change a lot. And this map features a lot of very tricky and nasty triggers, one of which we are seeing right now. So combined with the changing rhythms and BPM of the song, it is really difficult to just keep your composure through this song. And rushing a trill like this will cost you a lot of accuracy here.
Oh, this section is it's fun,
something else.
but it's fun, but it's something else.
Yes, the
And here
song
we go.
changes abruptly into dubstep or whatever you call this. But yes, that's just Giselle for you. Really
Also,
captivating
there's
song.
some short inverse section being thrown at you right there.
Yes, this map is by the way 8 stars, and this is mostly because of this part, because as we all know, flams and long notes make for a high star rating, but of course this is not the highest star rating we have in the pool. Okay, so
we'll be talking about that later.
yeah, one important thing to mention is that this map, as you can see, is OD 6.6, so while it isn't the highest, it still is pretty demanding when you have all kinds of different snaps and long note releases. So yeah, you can probably hold like it's probably difficult to hold your ratio here. Probably you can save some 200s when you with this OD, but it will be difficult to like get your accuracy really high. It will be probably mostly a combo game here, but it's still pretty difficult to combo regardless.
Yeah, no, that was just a pretty nifty release, a release slash coordination section that we just got through. And now I think pretty much this chart, like, would it be right to say that this feels like more like a mini tiebreaker of some sorts?
Yes, I would say it's less aggressive than Tiebreaker, that's why it isn't one. But it is overall a very, very fun and diverse chart that encapsulates everything we have in this pool. So it also has a fair bit of like breathing rooms, so you don't like have to tense through the entire song. You have a lot of place to recover your stress, your nerves. But at the same time, you also have some sections like this, which is rather dense, and definitely nearing the end of the chart will be a very big challenge to hit properly.
Yeah, it just suddenly became rough after all that.
And this drill. Blastix Riots.
Blastix Riot. And
Okay.
that is the third chart in this pool. And also, New FA reveal hype.
Yeah, let's go. I think many people would enjoy Soberm as the new featured artist. Be sure to check their featured artist listing. And moving to the fourth map and the first long node map of this showcase, we have Lake Valor remastered by Zami, and this map was featured in the ETT tournament of last year. And this is a shorter version. Map is by Makiba, so this is a cut. And we have used this map in grand finals in that tournament, but here it is in semifinals and without hard rock. So for people that have already seen that tournament or played the map, yeah, it is really difficult in terms of long node releases. So this is where the map pool splits into from long node control into the release, and the releases are really heavy in this one.
Yeah, the change in philosophy for the release picks coming off the previous round, which was Jirokoji no Hitoritabi. Like, this feels like people who are not that much informed might say that this feels so much like a coordination pick more than a release pick, but like the amount of variety of snaps actually used here, they look consistent. Also, you just have that this section here. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how teams will be strategizing around this pick this time around, because the last round, it's easy to combo, easy to act relatively. Now here is just do your players have enough finger control to deal with this?
Yes, and this probably is more difficult than the last year's map, Snowy, and this stems both from the fact that it is much heavier in coordination and the fact that it is actually pretty intense. So the star rating here is 5 point something, almost 6 stars, and Snowy was 4 point something. So this is not only long node heavy, but it's also pretty fast. And those faster 1/4 short long nodes may trip up some players. And probably this is on the harder side of this pool, which is honestly not often seen for long node release picks. But yeah, this is long node 1 and one of the harder long node release maps in this pool.
Now, up next is another Rice chart. We have Tenchi's Electromagnetic Retribution, and this is the lighter but faster chord stream pick. This clocks in at 204 BPM. Well, there's nothing really much to say about this chart, especially that this is just plain straightforward chord stream patterns. Also, we have to note there's this middle section here where it's practically a break. There are a few long notes placed here and there, but it's not too technical per se. Then after the break, everything just ramps up.
Yes, also another nice background. We have caching for the second time, something for Genshin Impact fans. Anyway, going back to the map, yes, it is also one of the, I would say, easier maps of the pool as core stream maps go. Though 200 BPM is already pretty fast, and combined with some small bursts in the middle section and the trills, this will be not as easy and not as straightforward to play as the previous map, I believe. It has a lot more chord stream in the second half, especially with the trills, so this will definitely be a challenge to hit, even though the patterns are mostly comfortable and relatively simple in structure. This is still 204 BPM, so even though if you can combo through this, I expect some accuracy drops.
Also, my map notes do mention that there is a few anchors in this chord stream right here. So I haven't seen them arrive just yet.
Yes, they aren't that visible, but they are like 3 notes or something.
There you
also
go.
In trills, so they are pretty much hidden, but this really changes how this map plays, makes it more technical in structure and also more difficult to execute. And yes, I would say watch out for these birds. And I can say that in faster core stream picks in general, this will be more of a trend that they won't be just pure core stream, but also combine some speed elements. So watch out for that in future pools. And this was map number 5, Electromagnetic Retribution. Let's go for first my map of the pool, which is Plastic Girls by Wigan. And this is a core jack map, 130 BPM, so the same as last year's Jasmine T-Girl by Evening. And what can I say? This map starts relatively tame, doesn't really have much going on apart from like some weird 1/6 snaps. And it is OD9, so it will be a difficult map to accuracy, though of course this is mitigated by the fact that this is core jack. So yeah, it's relatively dense, and we will be seeing this very soon. I'm sorry for the diff name, by the way.
Oh, why is it Gangnam Style?
I just thought it fits.
So I guess we'll have to be dancing Gangnam Style on our keyboard as we hit these super dense chord jacks. Though I do notice that we're kind of back to that anchory kind of chord jack thing that we had from round of 16. We do remember that the one used during the quarterfinals is a bit more spread out.
Yes, this song is from BMS, from Pabat event, and yeah, now the chorus of the hardest section. Basically, these chord jacks are densest when the vocals appear, and the structure is changing now and then, so alternating between just like single chord jacks and the double chord jacks, which are patterned mostly comfortably, but there are also some smaller anchors and small long jacks that will be there and probably cause some misses for the players. So basically this is I would say the first chord jack map that actually requires a lot of jack skill to pull off, because this is already pretty fast and already pretty dense, so you need to have this control. And yeah, the ending is relatively dense. You cannot really just stop playing after the chorus. This is still dense and still repeats a lot, so overall that makes for a very fast-paced map. And this won't be that as easy to score as the previous map.
Alright, that was the 6th chart in this map we'll showcase. Now we are on the 7th one, which is another hybrid pick, which we have Riol's The Sixth Sense, which is the technical hybrid pick of this pool, and those who are a bit more aware of that extraterrestrial tournament from last year will be familiar with this, since this was used as a pick there. Now this chart features like a few anchors here and there, like a few bursts and some jack sections. Plus, I'm pretty sure I remember, like around more than halfway through the chart, there's this one spacebar section that, yeah,
this is the definition of freeform to me. This is basically Remorse, but even more chaotic, and it lasts longer, so this is 3 minutes. And while the OD is relatively low, this is very easy to just misread and not hit the patterns. It is not that dense, but it has some really nasty sections. This is the first of them, so you can see lots of flams and mini jacks mixed with long notes, so these transitions are really challenging, but this also flows really well, so it all around makes a very flowing and very fun map to play.
Now I do notice that this pick is double the length of the 2 previous technical hybrid picks, which were Colors and Remorse. Both were practically TV-sized charts, so the teams might have to try to look into working the drain time of this chart into their strategies, especially that this is definitely longer. Like, there's more opportunities for the teams that are prone to choking to recover, if anything.
Yeah, this song also has a lot of break time, so many chances to just keep your composure, recover your composure, but at the same time, yes, this is also, as I said, really chaotic, and between those break sections are sections that will definitely challenge you, and I would say this map is easier to accuracy than it is to combo, as some of those pairs just really want to break your combo and destroy your, increase your miscount, basically. Both those awkward mini jacks and basically the weird rhythm that this chart follows. Even the releases here are pretty much uneven all the time.
Oh, well, I just realized that those were reverse shields in that previous section.
Yes.
Like the gaps are super small. I barely noticed them.
And we are going to the last course of the map, which again features some of the denser parts of the chart and those really interestingly looking long notes. Yeah, this burst is one of the harder sections of this map as well. Overall, very, very tricky.
Yeah, that's a super rough section right there, and it just won't stop until it ends.
This probably isn't that hard of a pick, but definitely will be one of the more stressful maps in the pool. And I don't think people will readily pick this as first pick. Maybe after they have exhausted some other options, but not as a first pick. That would be interesting to see. And another map, but probably you should introduce it, Surftrue.
We have Myosotis by MTU, and this is a remix by one of the members of the featured artist band Millie. And this is our LN coordination pick. Also, if you do notice that the diff name contains the names Maple and Jinjin, this is practically a collaboration between me and two of the Maple selectors in this pool. So yeah, like unlike my other LA coordination picks that have been featured in the previous World Cup since 2018, this is like super rough. This is not designed to be easy at all.
Yeah, if you thought that the Lake Valor map has coordination, then look at this. This is extremely rough. Probably reminiscent of Avril the 14th, the infamous map from one of the previous MWCs. But this is basically noodles, and very, very challenging noodles. Lots of disjointed releases, and overall probably will be a band bait for many teams that cannot play long notes. This is the level when it's still pretty slow, but the amount of coordination you need to have to release and press those long notes and this beautiful trill. Yes, this is probably either very easy or extremely difficult. So, as I said, probably it can't get banned by teams that cannot play long notes.
Yeah, the break section is Avril. Careful.
Yes, I think this map is really evil. Even though it's also enjoyable to people that can play those long notes. Yes, and those jacks here really will test if you know what you are doing, because it is very easy to just press the wrong keys and wrong jacks, which will cause a number of misses. So if you miss here, you miss hard.
Yeah, the density of the chart kind of loosens up a bit near the end, but still, near the end you have to start preparing for this one, for that speedy section. It will easily trip you up if you're not ready. So that is my map ads for this pool. Up next is another long note pick. And this is the density pick of this pool. We have Lime Replicate. This, as far as I know, this is a collaboration between Jinjin and Kobe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is like usually with your Ellen density picks, this is like super straightforward. Probably plays like your good old chord stream chart. Obviously, this is super dense already, and we're at 170 BPM.
Yes, this chart is honestly one of my favorite charts in the pool because it is so neatly executed. And the long notes here are really, really dense. The PM is also pretty fast, but the patterns are so incredibly pleasant to play. Like, if you join Kobe and Jinjin for a collab, you are bound to have some extremely pleasant, though difficult of course, patterns, but probably this will be the most rise-oriented pick of long note spectrum of the pool, if I can say so. So you don't really need to play long notes that well in order to play this, but you need to read this. So with this density, it probably will be the challenge to read this. The OD here is 5, so the lowest of any long note map in the pool. That definitely helps, and as you can see, we already have 3000 objects in the half mark of this map.
Yeah, and a smaller race section just as a break, but as with the rest of this chart, like you don't really want to play. Like, yeah, you could, I guess, play them like Rice, but you don't really want to do so. Again, like the OD5 setting will be helping a lot of these players, like at least make sure that their hits are within reason, like also their releases, but still like the density is making up for that making up for that as a compromise.
Yes, one thing I would say is that this map is far less mind blockable than the map from the previous year. So Go Fun from Flexo. This is way more straightforward than the map. And it ends with a very beautiful flam. And this was the long node density map of the pool. And next up is the fifth Rice Peak, Leaf Chronostasis, map by PWHK. And this will be the mixed Rice Peak. And this is one of the harder maps in the pool, I assume. This is very fast and very tricky to play, both because of the speed, the density, and the amount of mini jacks and verts that are here in this chart. This is really difficult.
Oh yeah, like I think this is like one of those charts that I haven't really taken a close look at, but mini jack with the spacebar. Why?
Yeah, and this is only the beginning. The second half is way denser than this, and you can already see some pretty nasty trills. So this BPM and this density already are kind of between the core stream peaks, but this chart has a whole lot of going on in the second half, and yeah, this is extremely hard to execute now with a delay section, and later we will be seeing some denser core stream with a lot of mini jack. So there are some very nasty transitions. One of the riskier picks in the pool, that's for sure. Yeah, this speed part on the left hand.
That's awful.
Yeah, this is the stage of the tournament where the Rice picks get really difficult, and full comboing this map will be a huge feat. Yeah, this transition as well. If you miss on this, you're guaranteed to drop a lot of accuracy. And now the second half, which is, as I said, dense core stream, and we'll be entering some really difficult mini jacks, and there will be even a 1/3 section.
I mean, at least it's just on one hand, like the mini jacks on one hand, but I don't think that even helps at all.
Yes. This map was nerfed a lot, and this is still one of the higher difficulty maps of Deep. So yeah, look at those jacks here.
Oh man, that's brutal.
This is really brutal. So yeah, definitely one of the more difficult Rice peaks on the pool.
Well, after this, let's take a bit of our time to reflect on the previous 10 picks in the pool, because like we have something special up next. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people might be familiar with the artist of the next song. Since I said special because MWC7K 2023 has an original song made for this map pool, and that is the next chart you'll be seeing. We have Toromaru's Uncharted Sky. And that's the OC original song, probably the first one in this World Cup. Toromaru's Uncharted Sky, and this is a chart with a collaboration between Underjoy and Jinjin, the primary technical pick in this map pool.
Yes, although Sergio said this is a technical pick, and I of course agree with him as I made half of this chart. This is actually way less technical than the previous map pools pick. So Marianne, this is kind of like another mixed rice pick, but contrary to the previous one, so Chronostasis, this is way more tricky to nail, even more tricky, because there are a lot of different rhythms and the time signatures are all over the place. So it is slower, it is also very dense, especially in the second half, and there are a lot of mini jacks and speed sections that also make this pick another challenging rice pick. So I would say in this pool, the mixed rice and technical picks are both the hardest ones. So before we go to the next pick, I just want to say that this won't be the only Toromaru original in this year, so stay tuned for other World Cups, because we might see Toromaru again. And moving to the next map in this pool, we'll be having another map which is made by me. So this is Hybrid, Hino Isuka versus Iris Bouncing. And this will be the last hybrid we have, and this is definitely the fastest and the most speed-paced chart of the pool. So yeah, I would say this is a very balanced and very diverse chart. It has a whole lot of going on. And yeah, it also has a very nasty slowdown section.
Yeah, like, when I saw this chart, or like when I was just watching them on auto now, because this is like the round where charts become impossible for me to play, like, this is rough.
Yeah, this is rough, but also plays relatively easy. Like, it flows very well. I'm not biased at all, but
It sounds like you're telling me to give this a go at some point. Yeah, I'll sure do. But anyways, like we see these. I think similar to earlier, like most of the mini chord jacks are condensed on the one hand, but then you see the are those triple jacks in that LN section? What?
yes, we have a very fun inverse section, and now we're going to the biggest hype section of this chart. So this slowdown, which goes into a scratch wall section. I don't know. But basically it changes BPM to 125 and becomes all over the place with the patterning. What can I say? This feels pretty techy, but at the same time it's fast enough and diverse enough that I would say this is probably the most mixed pick of all in this pool. Maybe apart from Giselle, because it just has every type of pattern in it. And after this slowdown, it goes back to the original pace, and basically the chorus section repeats. If there is anything I would say you should watch out in this chart for, is that in chorus sections, they're probably the hardest section in the chart because they combine both the jacks and chorus streams and the long notes, and especially the triple jacks, which are here, will be demanding and really easy to miss on. So yeah, because of this chart's complexity, I would say this is also pretty difficult, but at the same time, probably not something I would pick just straight away. Yeah, I think it's a very nice chart.
But knowing like the teams, especially in the upper bracket, they might be picking the hard stuff first, and then let like the tension build up on the easy ones. Who knows, really? And
this
is
too smooth to be the hard song of this pool, I would say.
Yeah. Well, now we're moving on to the final regular pick in this pool, and obviously it has to be a VTuber chart by Maple Syrup. Usada Pecoras Peco Random Rain. So all of us thought we were safe for VTuber picks. And yeah, this is the primary mixed LN pick in this pool, and the difficulty name, let me try to give it enough justice. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, this was a very accurate depiction of the song's nature. Someone compared this to the Godish from last year, and I honestly cannot disagree. Yeah, this is pretty fast actually, so kind of reminiscent to the mixed pick, to the dance pick. But as this is the mixed pick, this has a whole lot of variety, beginning from the uneven recess to the pretty nasty ninjaks, shields, and the 8 bits. So basically a very well-rounded long mode pick, and probably one of the harder ones in the pool as well. Though the OD is only 5, so this is definitely a saving grace for teams that don't really get too much accuracy on long notes, but rather are just comboing everything they can.
Oh man, I just saw that that shield is transition in the middle of a practically full cycle. That's actually super rough to deal with.
Yeah, I can see also some pretty much full inverse sections here. Overall, yeah, I'd say this is fun to play, but also it has a lot of demanding patterning from long notes, so something that is kind of similar to auto jump charts. Yeah, the ending is definitely the hardest section, but at the same time this map is very short, so it's pretty risky, I would say, but long note teams will definitely enjoy this one. And this was the last pick, this is the last regular pick of the map pool. Let's go to the tiebreaker, and oh boy, this tiebreaker is really something else. This is Lour System Error, a map by Leju. And this map is 12 stars in semi-finals. Yes, that's right, this is 12 stars already. And the object count is 7,227. Don't ask me why I know this, but yeah. Anyway,
It's calculated.
It's calculated. Okay, of course this is inflated because you can manipulate the star rating as you want, so it is not actually that hard. But this is much harder than last year's newspaper for magicians. I would really say this is kind of like finals level and even slightly above. So this is basically Leju's Leju went just ham.
Magnum opus.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Leju just went ham on this map, and this map has been nerfed 10 times already, and it's still really difficult because it's really fast. It's 200 BPM, it's sideruns with a lot of different patterns. This log notes already boosting the star rating, and basically this is really brutal. It has all kinds of different and difficult stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, this is rough. Like those LS, they look like stairs, but they are practically brackets at this BPM.
Yes, Leju is known for just coming up with the craziest kinds of patterns possible, and this is the case for this map. But of course, this is also Psytrance, so we can expect a very solid and demanding pace of 200 BPM. Course sims that are pretty comfortable, but they are just very unrelenting, and yeah, it also changes quite a lot throughout the duration of the course sims, so a lot of different patterns, and going into another long note section, which is honestly kind of a brother, because the next sections are even more difficult, like this one.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes, this map is beautiful. Honestly, this is extremely fun, but at the same time, it is very demanding, so I would say this map is one of the reasons you should learn to play 7 key, just to be able to enjoy stuff like this.
And obviously the break section just had to have like one hand inverse. Yeah, that's the break section.
Yes,
and it transitions to this where like, you have your left and okay. Forgot about this section.
Yeah, this map is really crazy, and it also has even some coordination elements, which is pretty amazing considering that this map is so fast-paced. But as I said, this is way more difficult than newspapers for magicians from last year, and more diverse. But honestly, I think it is a good thing. This tiebreaker is really the final test of players' prowess in this round.
Now, you really mentioned that thing where these are the types of maps that these are like the maps that you really want to learn 7K for. Like these stuff are like super rewarding to play. Like, please play 7K, it's fun.
I mean, at the first glance, it's probably more scary than fun, but trust me, those patterns are delicious, but yeah, you also need to hit them.
You also get the free trip to space every time you post a score on 7K. But anyways, like let's go back to this chart, and we're still 3/4 through it, and like I felt like it was already eternity of notes already that fell through.
Enjoy this break where it lasts, because the last sections of this song are something else, and truly, maybe not 12 stars, but oh yeah, this is one of them. Nice build up to the last section.
Yeah, that break section and then transitions is like it transitions like a mini jack section and ooh, okay. This thing, like, you kind of played something like a chord stream style, right? Or is it like it's kind of like just
Basically a chord
oversimplifying
stream.
it that way already?
Basically a chord stream, but it is so well disguised in those varying long notes that it looks like it's really something like alien patterns basically. And this section is also extremely creative and fun.
Oh man, like Liju's charting is so beautiful.
Yes, the map is nearing this completion, but yeah, you are still greeted with 200 BPM dense chord stream. And the last section is underway. Yeah, basically just the outro to the song. So really a lot to uncover in this map. This last I really hope it won't mess up with players playing this tiebreaker like in a match setting, so that one team could lose the advantage right on this stair. This would be a tragedy, but it's possible.
Yeah, so you said it is possible to play those stuff. I mean, you could just look at the players remaining in this World Cup. So good luck to everyone remaining. All the teams remaining has quite a lot to take in. And obviously for us plebs just spectating them, we do have something that we could do to support them. The Osumania 7K World Cup team support banners are up on the Osu store. Please purchase them if you want some profile decorations like throughout for the rest of this World Cup. And the proceeds will be going to the prize pool.
Be sure to support your favorite teams, and good luck in this map pool. There are like extremely strong teams left in the tournament, so we have of course to deliver maps of appropriate difficulty.
Oh man, like semi-finals. We're about to enter like the final stretch of this tournament, and it hasn't felt like it hasn't even felt like we've just started. Like it just feels like, yeah. Like, oh man, I'm gonna miss this feeling, even once the stream ends. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens in the coming weekend. So, any final words from you, Underjoy?
As I said, good luck. The map will be available soon to download, and yeah, that's basically it. If you have any comments about the map pool, be sure to check the map pool feedback and leave a couple of words for us.
And that's it for us. That was Underjoy in the booth, and this is me, Sir285 for the Osumania 7K World Cup 2023. See you next week for the semi-finals.